a bit of a different location today because we're working on some changes, and one of them is just switching internet providers and mixing home and studio and all this stuff ahead of a change that is coming. And I told you a little bit about it, but next week I think I can promise you that I will give you all the details. Now, before we continue, could you please let me know 100% so I'm sure that you can hear my voice and it's not clipping, because on this little system from my phone I can't really tell exactly how much volume is getting to the microphone. So if you could just say that, tell me if you can hear me all right, and also if you can hear the guitar. So if you can hear both my voice and the guitar, then we're good to go. And I get started. All right. So I'm just gonna wait 30 seconds for you to confirm. And the guitar is a bit low. Well, it's all the way up. Let me try again. Maybe I can put it a bit closer. See, I'm using my iPad because that's all I got. I had a small amp and the batteries are not 100%, so I didn't want to get started with the stream and then have the guitar not working. But anyway, so I think we should be good. I'm just gonna show you a lick from the 21 licks book, so it's not gonna be a big deal, and then I'll answer all your questions. As always, hello Kike. And also please say hello as you come in, because I can't see the chat room from the stream. I can only see as you type. So I can't quite follow along, so please share your questions. And if you're new here, we do this every Saturday at 6:30 Central European Time, 6:30 p.m. that is, and that's about 12:30 if you're in New York. It's 9:30 if you're on the West Coast, where I lived for a long time. So if you're from over there, please stop by and say hello. And I usually teach a little something after, during each stream, and then we'll open it up for questions and we'll talk about all kinds of stuff, from technique to music writing, songwriting, practicing, but also strange things sometimes, and gear and whatever it is you want to talk about. I leave it open because I think it's more fun. If you want a bit more of a structured thing for learning, then on Tuesdays I teach one chord every week, and that's going to be going on for about 3 more months, I think, or so, and it's been going on for a couple of months. So if you check out the channel on Tuesdays, you'll learn quite a bit about chords. And this week's chord was the major 7 sharp 11, which is one of my favorites. So make sure you check it out as soon as this stream is over. You can just head out to the channel and you'll find it pretty easily. So what else? If you want to support the channel, I know I say it at the beginning because then we get rid of that part, but I have to share it because some of you decided to do it, and I very much appreciate it. I wouldn't want to not give a shout out to Jim and everybody else who's doing the PayPal thing. So if you want to donate to the channel, put it down there. There's a link to PayPal. You don't have to, of course, but if you do, I promise I'll put it back into the channel, all of it. I won't go on vacation with your money, all right? So what else? That's it. So in case you missed the last 2 or 3 episodes, I usually show you a link from a free ebook. The free ebook is down here in the description. You don't have to pay anything. You don't have to share your information. You don't have to give me your email. There's nothing you have to do. You just click on the link and download it. And it's a little PDF where I show you 21 licks from some songs, some of my songs, but it doesn't matter. Even if you don't like my music, you're good to go, because they're just licks and riffs that we can use to then talk about, songwriting and technique. And so today I have to make do with the setup that I have, but I think we're up to number 4, and today's riff is called Lights and Shadows. Now, because of the way I'm setting up the stream today, I can't put the tablature on the screen, so I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to go down to the link and download the PDF. All right, it's going to take 1 minute, so I'm just going to give you that time. Then you can follow along, because usually I try to put the tablature on the screen for those of you who don't have the ebook. Maybe you don't want to download it, whatever it is. But today you probably have to go ahead and do that, and then we follow along, because I'm streaming from my phone and I can't have graphics overlays. So while we wait, I will just talk a little bit about the changes that are coming. So I'm going to have a different studio very soon in a different location, but the cool thing about the studio I have now is in my music school. It's called Guitar Studio here in Barcelona. That's going to keep going as always. but I will expand it to the online world, because during the pandemic we moved to online for a little while, and I was kind of afraid that it wouldn't work. And we were surprised by how well you can do it nowadays. You know, connections, usually people have great internet, no matter, I mean, I have students from Africa and I was like, well, it's gonna be a problem, and they have the best connection. And so it's way beyond what we need for a one-on-one lesson. So I'm gonna set that up, and I'm actually gonna move to another city, which I'm kind of excited about, but I'll tell you more about that soon. And so that's how we're gonna do it. And I promised that I was gonna give a free one-on-one lesson online to my subscribers, because we hit 9,000 subscribers last week. And so here's how we're gonna do it. You can leave a comment in the comment section of this video, not in the chat room. I mean, you can do it in the chat room, but make sure you do it in the comment section, right? Just say something like, I hope I win the online lesson, you know, whatever it is. Just write a comment in this video, because there's 9,000 and some of you, and I would like this to go to somebody who's been active lately, so who's been following along the streams and who's been participating and has been kind of looking for answers for his guitar playing. So if I can help you, then I would rather help somebody who's really trying to work it out. And so make sure you leave a comment on this video, and I will give you about a week or so, and then I'll announce it. All right, so maybe let's do by the end of next Sunday, so by the end of next weekend, then we're gonna have it announced. All right, so there's not gonna be a lot of you actually, because not a lot of you are actually right now on the channel, something to do with YouTube's mysterious algorithms. But if you leave a comment either now or from the future, it doesn't matter, you have a week to do it. And then I'll pick a winner randomly, and that winner will have a one-on-one lesson with me over Skype, and I can help you out the best I can with your questions. Of course, you can ask questions here too. So I hope by now you have your PDF downloaded, and we're going to look at number 4. This is called Lights and Shadows, and it's the first song from the album of the same name, and it has a pretty cool riff. I'm just going to play it for you really quickly. And then I will explain a little bit, because we can go into some interesting details about this, scales and rhythm and all that. So let me see where I'm at. All right, so it goes something like this. Okay, very simple. And the first thing that comes to mind here is the scale. The scale sounds a bit exotic and strange, and it's called the Hungarian scale, sometimes called, I knew it as the Gypsy scale. And then when I was looking it up for this video, I saw that it's also called the Hungarian scale, and it's also called the double harmonic scale. And it's a very interesting scale because it goes like this, right? So this is not a diatonic scale to any of our regular minor scales, so you won't find it as a mode of the melodic or harmonic minor, and even less so of the regular natural minor scale. So it's pretty strange. And basically this is how it goes, right? So you have a minor harmonic scale. That's your starting point, and the minor harmonic scale or harmonic minor scale is a minor scale with a major 7th. You probably heard this 1,000 times, but this scale adds another gap of a minor 3rd by raising the 4th. So it's kind of like a harmonic minor with a Lydian note, and it sounds like this. Right, so you have this sound, and it's a pretty cool scale. It sounds and seems harder than it is, because everything kind of works with it. It has so many sounds, and the cool thing about these scales, I find, is the possibility of creating chords, because you can have some pretty strange chords with this scale, because when you have 3 chromatic notes, like in this case, the F sharp, the G, and the A flat, you know that these notes will be thirds of other notes. And so some of these chords, you can have them either minor or major, which creates a lot of interesting opportunities, but also a lot of, confusion. So for this specific song, I'm gonna play the lick for you again, just so we're on the same page here. It goes something like this. And by the way, this lick is a kind of lick that I play different every time I'm, if I'm playing live, I never know exactly how I play it. It kind of lends itself to many interpretations. And we talked about this before. Some songs, you have to be precise with them, but some other songs it can be very flexible. And usually, I always say that major scales are the hardest ones, because we are so in tune to the major scale sound that every variation on it drives us crazy, right? So if I'm playing the song I played for you last week, and I screw up, it sounds very, very bad. But with this kind of scale, more exotic, then you can kind of get away with anything. All right, so let me play for you one more time, and then we'll get into more of the details. All right. Okay, so this is how I would play it, one of the ways I play it. Sometimes I will add you can add those little runs. It doesn't really matter. The riff survives, which is kind of a fun thing with this kind of scales. But the thing that really made it interesting for me was that, because I knew that writing an instrumental song, I can't just lean on the exotic or play the exotic card for too long. Then it gets tiring, right? An exotic scale won't get you out of a bad song. So what I decided to do was okay, well, I can do the intro like this, but then I want to get into regular sounds. And the melody is quite simple. The melody goes like this. It has a whammy bar, but I don't have it right now, but it's... something like that. I made it shorter, right? But it goes like that. So I said, how can I bridge the simple verse and chorus with this very strange sounding intro? And that's why I'm talking about the chords of the scale, because the chords of the scale give you the option to have some very peculiar chord progressions that sound kind of normal. So what I did, instead of going looking for very strange exotic chords that certainly you can find within this scale, because this scale has a bunch of strange fourths and fifths and major and minor third at the same time. It has major seventh in the root. So you can find strange chords, but I thought that if I would continue with the strange chords, that I would have a problem with the song kind of becoming a caricature, because I have this very exotic intro into these very exotic sounding chords, and then where am I going to go from there, right? So because I didn't want to lean too much on the exotic thing, I decided, well, let's see what kind of normal chords I can find in this scale that just sound a bit strange when paired with one another, right? So Juan Pablo, ¿qué tal? Juan Pablo, long time no see. Anyway, so the chords were C minor down to E flat major in this strange voicing, but it's just an E flat with a major third. So this you would find in a normal C minor scale. But then I could go down to B minor. Now the B minor and C minor, one half step apart, that's kind of strange. It's not something common, it's not something you are allowed to do in many other scales. I can think of any right now. I'm sure there's some, but it's very rare that you can do it. And so what that allows me to do is to have fairly normal sounding chords, but in a sequence that sounds kind of otherworldly. And so if I start from the intro, which is extremely strange, because I'm really leaning on that scale, right? And then I go down to this. Okay, so I'm kind of, basically I'm going one step down in weirdness, and then once I hit the chorus, I can go completely rock and roll, right? Really have major and minor chords, very straight. Indrajit, what's up? Long time no see, man, where have you been? We haven't seen you around here for a long time. You got the CDs, right? I'm sure you did. If you haven't gotten yet, then I don't know what to do. I'll just hop on a plane and take them to you. All right, good to see you too. Yeah, it's good to see you. And so that's the idea. You see, so I'm going full on weird in the first section, kind of normal in the second section, and then if you look at the chorus of the song, is very straight rock and kind of a, you know, whatever it is I do is not metal and is not pop. It's just something in between, I guess, but it does work. And so that's what you can get out of this little lick. As I said, you don't even have to like the lick. You can just use it for your own experiments. But the scale again is called the Gypsy Scale, and I will just show you the formula again because I think it's interesting and important. And that's why I'm here, basically, just showing you stuff. So it's a minor or a harmonic minor scale. With a sharp 4. All the way up. And you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with this scale, but this song actually, I remember I came across the scale because I was kind of going, what scales did I used to use when I was a kid? And this scale, I just ran into it when I was probably 15 or so, or 16. And I thought it was really cool, and nobody else in my town knew it. And so I would just play it all the time, because as you can see, you can play pretty much anywhere, because it has all those chromatic things. And it always worked, and people were like, what are you playing there? And I would just call, you know, some strange planet scale or whatever, because I didn't know what it was. But eventually I figured out it was called the double harmonic scale. And, I knew it as a Gypsy scale. I don't know who told me that, but you know. But you know, eventually, a few years ago, I was getting into a book about scales from all over the world. It's a book like this, and it has scales from all continents. So it goes through Africa, into Asia, and Europe, of course. It goes through, you know, Native American scales. And I ran into this, and I played it, like, well, this is my scale. And it was called the Hungarian scale in this book. And so I started playing with it, and with this guitar and this iPad working as an amp, I sat down on the sofa, and in 3 minutes I had the riff for Lights and Shadows, and I decided then that I would start to make a new record. So you never know exactly where inspiration strikes or what will kind of, you know, turn the switch on, but it works. So if you want to check it out, it's a pretty cool scale. It's one that you probably want to know anyway, because of the strange sounding scales. It's one of the easier ones, right? So look it up. It's called double harmonic, Gypsy Scale, or Hungarian scale. You'll find it under those three names usually, but it's a harmonic minor scale with a raised fourth. Certainly minor though, even though it has a sharp 4, which is a Lydian sound, and it has the B, which is the major 7th, which is also a major sound. It's certainly a minor scale, right? So don't get confused by all those major intervals. And that's it. So again, I apologize for the setting today. It's not as high-tech as usual, but because there are so many changes coming, that's the reason. And what else? If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, we'll keep it short today because it's a strange situation. But again, if you just got in, because we hit 9,000 subscribers last week on the channel, I'm giving away a one-on-one free online lesson. And so all you have to do is leave a comment in this video. That way it will allow me to kind of, you know, focus on people who are really following the channel right now, not just old subscribers that I don't even know, right? So make sure you leave a comment, and this will be open for about a week, and then next week or in a couple of weeks I will name the winner, and we'll get together on Skype or whatever it is you use, and we'll have a little one-on-one lesson. All right, so I'm gonna wait for your questions. I have no particular place to go, as Chuck Berry would say, but so I wait for a couple of minutes for your questions. There's not a lot of you today, I think, for some reason or other, but I don't mind. It's like when you go play a show and there's not a lot of people in the audience, you still try to do the best show possible. So I'm available for questions. If I'm on vacation, no, actually no, Indrajit. I'm moving. I don't want to say exactly where yet because it's still kind of in the works, but it's maybe 99% done. But I'll be moving soon. So the studio, I had to review some things. I'm doing the internet providers have to be changed and the name on the contract changed. So I'm already starting doing this. As a matter of fact, if you see the studio now, it's a bit of a mess. I'm kind of putting everything together, to move. And as I said earlier, the school in Barcelona will continue as always. I'm doing more of the online thing because I'm launching kind of the guitar studio thing. My school here in Barcelona, I'm launching it online because I have so many people from other places that want to do lessons and they can't, because unless you are in Barcelona now, we don't really do much online things. But now we are. So now I'm opening a whole online thing, and I've been testing it with some of my online students because I already have a few. And so we're kind of ironing out all the kinks, and it sounds great now, it looks great on camera, and I think the technology really is getting there. I think maybe we needed the pandemic to realize how good the technology is for distance learning. So I think some activities maybe are not 100% appropriate for online. Like if you do, if you go to the gym, you learn martial arts or something, it's pretty obnoxious to do on a screen, and we tried that. But for lessons in music and instrument, I think it's great. I have some students who are pretty close by, and sometimes they go like, you know what, I'll do it online because it's cold, it's raining, I don't know, I'm late and I got off work late. Some of my students who were coming in person, they just switched to online 100% and they're happy with it. So, that's why I figured, I should probably make this available to everyone else. So now we have a student from the UK, from Australia, from China, one from China, got one from India, a couple in America, and Mexico and Brazil. So, and that's just started. So I don't know how many I can take actually, because one thing about online lessons is they're intense. I learned that you cannot do more online because there's no distractions, and so you kind of have to pace yourself for the good of the student. You don't want to give them 100 things where they can only learn 50 things in one lesson, right? So you give them 50 and you have to spread it out a bit, but it's pretty cool. So you can get a sample of that for free as a little thank you for the 9,000 subscribers. And then, because I was gonna give away a CD or something, but not right now. I don't know how many people, or all CDs or something like that, but I don't know how many people are still listening to CDs. So if you want to listen to my music, I do sell CDs, there's links and everything, but you can stream it, you can all this stuff, there's all links down there. Everything helps. If you try to do a life of music, people from the outside sometimes, they don't understand how each little thing counts. Like if I go see a show and I can bring a friend to see a band, then I bring them, because I know that's only one ticket. But for a lot of bands, it doesn't matter how big or how small. I mean, if you're Bruce Springsteen, it doesn't matter. But, bands you might assume are very successful. Sometimes the balance is between 100 tickets, more or less, and the tour is a profit or is a loss. And you can only take so many losses, right? So from the inside of this little strange world of music, I learned a long time that little increments of stuff are very helpful. So if I can, and you don't have to do it with me, I'm not asking for it, but if it's just a little insight. If you like an artist, or if you like a creator, what are they called, creators? Now I think that we should just call them musicians. And if you're not a musician, then you're not a musician. That's another conversation. But I was having it a couple of days ago with a student of mine, and he asked me about all these people on Instagram who play, and play great, always perfect. Yeah, but you know, they're not playing. He showed me a few videos and I'm like, he's not playing, he's not playing, he's not playing, and this one's playing. So one of them was playing, the other three weren't. And so, you know, that's different. But if you are a musician, or at least fancy yourself as one, then it's true that every little thing counts. So if somebody writes me an email saying, I've been listening to your stuff all day today, that's, for them it might be nothing, but for me it's a big deal, because these little things all sum up, and at the end of, you know, the week, the month, or the year is what allows you to keep doing what you're doing. So I've been actually trying to do that as much as possible with other artists that I like. And I know Queen doesn't need my streams, I understand that. I still listen to them all day because they're my favorite band, but other people do, and so I support them. But by the way, Alex is not here today, Desafinados, one of our regular followers and a great guitar player in his own right. And I've been listening to his new album. You can check it out well, I think on YouTube, but I listened to it on Apple Music or Spotify. And he has a new album. It's only 7 songs, so it's 30 minutes, I think, 31 minutes. Alex, if you're here, please correct me if I'm wrong. But it's about half hour, and it sounds really good. I think it sounds better than his previous record as sound, you know, as production goes. And he has a really cool song, and you want to check out the final song. It has a very strange cascading chord progression where kind of all the instruments kind of chase each other, and it's really cool. I've been having a really good time listening to that. So Alex, I really enjoyed your record, and I'll keep playing it. Maybe I'll steal a few riffs from you. And so anyway, if you have any questions, I'm available. And next week I will try to be at the studio. I can't guarantee this, you know, how good it will look. It probably look pretty poorly and a bit destroyed, but I will do it from the studio, and we can, you know, do graphics and all this stuff. So today I didn't want to skip a week. I think it's important we get together every week. And I want to thank you, by the way, I haven't, for the 9,000 subscribers. It's really appreciated. And I know it's nothing compared to big channels, but it's something for me. And kind of the reason why I'm doing this is that I can provide maybe a little something for you guys. So I'll wait for a couple of minutes more. If you don't have questions, we'll keep it short today. And we'll reconvene next week. Make sure you don't miss the 1 chord a week videos. I can't believe some people are not, like, watch them, because learning chords is one of the most important things you can do in music. It's much more important than learning scales. It's much more important than technique. And you know, people don't believe me sometimes, because sometimes I can be a bit technical playing, but chords is really where it's at. And I realized it a bit late in life. I was already playing in bands, and I was already a professional musician, and I really didn't know anything about chords. And you know, because I never had a teacher, so it was very out of order for me. You know, everything was like jump here and then run there and then fall here and then jump over there. And eventually I realized how important it was to do chords. And it helps so much, especially in ear training, especially in how to be a better improviser. Strangely enough, learning chords makes you a much better solo player, because you can think from a way different depth about, you know, tensions and interest and resolution and, you know, little, you know, whatever it is. But it's very important. So make sure you watch these videos. I mean, they're free. What else do you want? Watch them on Tuesdays at 5:30, I think they come, at 5 o'clock, Central European time. They come out. You should watch all of them, and you should learn all the chord shapes that I show you. And I can't believe people are not watching it more. You know, I can't believe it. It's free chords, and they're all explained, and I tell you about the formula. If you actually watch all of them, by the time October comes along, which is I think where the last video is scheduled, you'll know so much more than you do now. I can't predict exactly where you're at right now without knowing you, but 99% of you will truly benefit from them. So I don't give a shit about the views. It's not gonna make any difference for the channel. I'm just saying it for you guys. Watch the 1 chord a week. All right, so there's nothing else I can say. Indrajit, if I have a new course, I have the 2 books. Thank you for asking. There's links down here. The books are still going strong, actually. I get so many emails about them, and I'm very happy that you find them useful. And I'm very happy also that a couple of people said that I should charge more for them. They're only 10 euros, and I think it's fair, and I think it allows everyone to learn. And those are about alternate picking and legato. And it takes a lot of work to make those books and to write them properly and make sure everything is right. So I'm gonna wait for the rest of the books, because I have these other things that I have to do now. But no courses, but what I'm doing is the online thing. So I'm doing online lessons, and that's one of the reasons in Dragit, because I might have somebody from Sri Lanka or from India or from Peru asking me how can they learn with me, and now it's extremely easy. So now it's going to be all set up, and as I said, the technology is really there now to do it properly. So thanks for asking, Dragit. But if you guys don't know about it, do check out the books. There's 2 books on alternate picking and legato, which I think, I'm sure they're not miles better than any other book on alternate picking and legato. It's not like, it's not rocket science. But I can guarantee you that they're very well thought out, and they're really 100% designed to get you from here to there in the simplest possible way and the most effective. Because one thing we can talk about briefly, and I noticed with students of a certain age, I started playing very young, 14, and I wasn't aware of the value of time. So I would just spend 10 hours playing something, and maybe I played it wrong, but I said, you know what, who cares? I just played wrong, and then I played long enough that it would get good. And I noticed slowly, with time, how, especially with students who are older, they really value their time. And certainly I value my time as well, especially as you grow older, you do think about that. So you're in your 30s, and you're in your 40s, maybe then you're in your 50s and you're 60, and you're like, man, I don't want to waste time. And so it's become, for the last 10 years or so, it's been something that I really thought about deeply, how to get somewhere without sacrificing, because that's stupid, right? Learn how to play songs in 5 minutes. That's dumb. If you believe that, then you probably deserve to be scammed. But assuming you understand how much work you have to put in it, because it's a lot of work, there's also steps you can take that will make it quicker. And I've been really studying it, because it was something that I wasn't too familiar with, because I wasted so much time, so many hours as I was growing up, because I was playing in a very disorderly way. I would play in bands, and I would do shows pretty much every week. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to tune a guitar, basically, and I was already playing concerts. And I didn't know what an amp was, because I would just go somewhere and plug in whatever they gave me. So my education has been really out of sync, and when I started teaching, I was very young. I was 15 years old, and I was giving lessons for about $3 an hour. That's what I charged. So I didn't feel bad about my lack of, professionalism, but slowly I understood how, doing things in a specific, in a strange order like I did, maybe no order at all, maybe it worked for somebody like me who would just sleep with their guitar in their hands, but it wouldn't be translatable to most normal people. So if you're a normal person who has a normal job and a normal family, you can't spend 12 hours a day on a guitar, right? And so everything I did wasn't quite applicable to them. And slowly I understood the importance of really going from A to B, leaving all the bullshit out, and go like, okay, that's what you need to do. And so these 2 books you find down there, if you want to check them out, those are very much focused on that. Follow them. There's no need to ask too many questions about it, because really it's all worked out. Do as I say, don't go too fast, play properly. Always focus on what you're playing. Play every note as if it were the last note you're ever gonna play. So every note should be a little bit better than every note you played before. You see a piano behind me. That's what I do with the piano. I suck on the piano, and I still play every day, my 2 hours a day. And I always say, okay, well, if you're not gonna play well, don't play it. And if you sit down and play it, you play it as well as you can, and every note should sound as good as you can make it sound. And if it doesn't sound perfect, you have to figure out why it doesn't sound perfect. And next time you play, you try to do it. Okay, so all this to say that maybe there are many other books that are great books on technique, but these two at least I can guarantee that are designed to make it as painless as possible. Not painless though, because this is some pretty involved things. You know, the fingers are a magical thing, but they're complex and it takes a long time to connect them. All right, but let's see. I can't really see the chat from here. I don't know why. I should be able to. Oh, there it is. So no, Indraj, I'm not on vacation. I'm actually at home because I don't have internet in the studio right now. Who else is in there? Please do say hello in the chat from before we adjourn to next week. Let me know what it is you want me to cover. You know, we're kind of starting a cool community here of guitar players, but it's taking a bit of time. So if we can speed it along, it would be very much appreciated. So if you want to participate, please do leave a message in the chat room so I know who's there. Any other questions I can help you with? Please feel free to ask. I have about 20 minutes before I have to split, so I'll be happy to answer any questions. And oh, if you want to check out last week's video, for some reason I don't understand myself, I decided that I would play a song for you. So I just launched into a live song and it was fun. But if you want to check it out, I played the song 1 here. And I will be doing live little concerts on YouTube regularly. I don't know exactly how often. We'll send some pics rocking out with your albums. All right, cool. Very good. Don't do it while you're driving. Be safe. I had a guy who told me that he listened to my records while he was going on a motorcycle, and I said, "You can't listen to that on your motorcycle, right?" And he's like, "No, but I never got caught." So you would use, headphones under his helmet, and I said, "Don't do that. Get some speakers on your bike." The last thing I want is somebody to kill himself on his motorcycle, and then they will say he was listening to this weird guy, this weird guy's music, and maybe that's why he jumped, whatever. But do it in a safely manner. All right, so I see there's no more questions, so we'll keep it short today. I don't mind, and I will see you next week for hopefully a regular stream with all the good technology that we have available. And please answer any question, ask me any questions you want in the chat room or in the comments. Make sure if you want to enter the giveaway for one free online lesson, to leave a comment either now or at least during this next week under this video. No other videos but this one. And then I will pull a winner and I will give you a free online lesson. All right? So everybody, thanks for being here. And I know now the summer is coming, so I think a lot of you will be having more interesting stuff to do than listen to me. But I appreciate you being here, and I will see you next week. All right? Bye-bye, everyone. See you later.